Stop hating on yourself. Why are you hating on yourself? Just stop the hate. Stop doubting and start loving yourself. All right, cue intro.
Forget the day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget the day we met. Your smile so bright, it made me swoon. Our love is like a summer's day, hot and endless in a magic way. Whenever I see you, all I can think is my summer love. Been waiting for you, my love.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the second episode of Ask Alexa. So really quick disclaimer before we start the video. The first thing is I'm actually going to be changing the show's name to just being called Ask Alexa instead of my last episode where I called it Treat Yourself. I have no idea where I got that name from. But yeah, so from here on now, this show, this specific segment of the show is going to just be called Ask Alexa. So the second thing I wanted to say is the information I share in this video and the things I say, I do not claim to be an expert in the field of personal development. I just happen to have gone through a lot of emotional distress and financial issues through the past couple years, and then it made me realize the importance of developing my own personal value. So a lot of the information I talk about are gathered from other people and the things that I've learned and just overall general things that I think have helped me tremendously. I'm just sharing those things with you. Also, the other thing is I don't claim I have some hidden knowledge that the rest of you don't know about. Again, I'm exactly the same as the rest of you. I just happen to be in a position where I'm forced to refocus my attention and priorities onto developing my inner strength and inner value. All right, so with that aside, let's get into the video. So in today's video, I really wanted to talk about the idea of self-love because I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there. I know we all like to talk about treating ourselves and just like loving ourselves more, but I think a lot of times we get confused by that concept. And a lot of people relate that to like loving yourself with having a good job, having monetary success, and just like a lot of external things. I have definitely gone through those phases. So I'm here to kind of share my experience and to tell you that I have learned so far that none of those things is going to bring true inner value. So I'm sure you guys all heard way too much of these ideas and theories. So I'm just gonna share 5 different things that I found to be very helpful towards me, and they have definitely brought about real positive changes in my own life. So I'm gonna share those things with you right now. All right, so number 1, ding. Why do I say having patience for yourself and just giving yourself space is really important? Is because I feel like a lot of times we're cluttered with so much bombardment of information from like everywhere, from the people around us, from like commercials, things, and that can be really distracting. And I definitely had that problem because all these other things, they are packaged to seem nice. They're packaged for you to want them. And that's the thing. So to get away from all of this, I think the really important thing at that time for me to do was just to give myself space and just a chance to think. So the other thing is giving yourself patience. At the time, I'm the type of person that's very competitive and I'm very hard on myself. So whatever I do, I tell myself I have to do the best. So that's the goal I set for myself. So anytime I didn't perform up to my expectation, I do a lot of like negative talking within myself and just like beat myself up. And I think the quote yeah, sometimes you yourself is your own worst enemy is really true. So I say just don't stress yourself out over this, and definitely don't give yourself more stress than you already have. So just like tell yourself it's going to take time, and that's okay, and that's a normal thing. So what I did is I told myself, it didn't matter how long it took, because this was my number one priority, to have a healthy and more successful life. Nobody's ever going to tell you it's going to happen overnight. So that's really important, just to give yourself space and have the patience for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Number 2, ding ding. So I think humility is actually one of the hardest things to accomplish, at least from my own experience, because our own ego is very strong. A lot of times I find that ego gets in my way a lot. A lot of times things that are actually helpful, people that wants to give you actual good advice, those things become hard for us to accept. And here is like a little footage of, I think it's pretty relatable for a lot of us, either like we done it or like other people have done it. All right, roll the clip. I can't believe it. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't believe it? What are you talking about? I just can't believe this world is such a cruel place. Why are you treating me like this? Whoa, dude, like calm down. I was just like asking about the rent. Like it's been 2 months. Do you have it? Like, cause we have to give it to the landlord. So that, all the jokes aside, even though that clip was more towards like a joke, but I think it's really relatable to like most of our everyday life. At least I believe that is, because a lot of times well-meaning thoughts and words become a source of negativity and attack. So humility is very important, because without humility, you won't be able to have an open mind. I think having an open mind is super essential to be able to take in more and fresh new ideas. Without that, you won't be able to even start the process of learning it. I at least that was my experience. So once I accepted the idea that most of the bad things that was occurring in my life was caused by my own action or inaction, I felt completely free. Because I stopped focusing on other people and what I expect from them. Instead, I looked at my own flaws, my own failures, and then from that point, I think I can work on myself. So that creates a sense of hope for me, at least. That's why I think the second step is having the humility to accept that you're flawed, but don't dwell on them. And then the other thing is we have to forgive ourselves after we realize those things. You can't dwell on your past mistakes, but definitely learn from them. So don't forget your failures. Number 3, ding, ding, ding. So number 3 is kind of related to number 2. So I think once you have the humility to accept that you are responsible for a big part of bad things happening in your life, I think you can then start analyzing those things. And then I think it's really important for us to look inward towards ourselves to understand what the problem is. So once I had the free time and the open mind to accept new ideas, it was easier for me to think about my own past failures. So I use those things to analyze my own life and just basically critical thinking. I think critical thinking is really important in this process because you are working on your inner strength. And that takes a lot of inner energy too. And the other good thing about critical thinking and analyzing your own experience with the new ideas you have learned is that, and this is like a Buddhist idea too. In Buddhism, they say there's 2 levels of understanding. The first one is just memorization and just learning from other people and hearing, visualizing it. And then the second level of understanding is, so after you learn the concepts and the ideas, you start analyzing those things, and then you take the things that you know yourself from your own experiences to be true, and then you accept them and put them into practice. And that way your understanding of those concepts becomes part of you. It becomes deeper, because without conviction in our own ideas, it's really easy for us to be influenced by other people's values, and then we lose track of who we are and our own inner value too. Number 4. Ding, 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 ding. So the fourth part of this is my own definition of loving yourself. Because I don't think loving yourself means treating yourself with material things or just being selfish. I think it's about developing your own value, having confidence in your belief, and having conviction in your purpose. So I think those things gives meaning and fulfillment in our own lives. That's why I think personal development is so important, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I started working on personal development. Because I don't believe we can work from outside in, because it doesn't matter how much things you have, it doesn't matter how much money you have, how much power you have, how many friends you have. In the end, if you don't work on your inner value, your external self will be affected by that. And in the end, you will feel empty. And trust me on this, I worked from a $4 job to having 6-figure income in approximately 2 years. But at the same time, it killed me on the inside, because I didn't understand what I was doing there. I didn't understand why I needed to continue doing the work I was doing outside of basic necessities and survival. So I think it's really important for us to intentionally develop our inner strength and then share that strength with others so that they don't have to struggle through the things that we already struggle through. And the other thing is loving yourself and having purpose and value in your life. It inspires others, because living the best life for yourself inspires others to do the same too. Number 5. Ding, 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 ding. So I think a lot of times when people start working on themselves, I see that they start withdrawing into themselves. And I think that's part of the process, but I also think at the same time, being kind, being compassionate, and being more tolerant of other people, you make your own life a little easier. Because when you're kind to other people, generally other people will be kind back to you, and that makes you a happier person. And I think at the same time, when you're kinder, more tolerant, and more empathetic to other people, you start building more trust between yourself and others, and also you have more friends, because I think the basis of any friendship is trust. So having more friends, having more happy people in your life, and having more positive values, I think that is the start of a more happier life. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching another one of these videos. I am just so appreciative of you guys. I work really hard to pump up these videos for all of you. So thank you if you guys enjoyed these videos and topics. I just ask if you give me a subscribe and a thumbs up. It literally means the world to me. And the other thing is, I just want to reiterate that I don't want to take credits for any of the topics and discussions I talk about in these videos. I'm just simply sharing my own experiences and some of the wisdoms and knowledge from other people that I found really helpful towards my own life. So hopefully in the process you'll be able to find something relatable and utilize those informations towards your own, and hopefully be able to utilize those information towards making your own life a little better. And also if you have any questions, feel free to tweet me, DM me, or just comment down below. I linked all my social media pages down in the description. So thank you guys so much. I release one of these videos every single week, so I'll catch you guys in the next video.